Ever heard a really good joke about polio? Or made a casual reference to someone having hepatitis? Or maybe tease your buddy by saying he has muscular dystrophy? Of course you have never done that because you are not a terrible person. You never make fun of someone for having a physical illness, but people will make all kinds of offhand remarks about people having mental illnesses and never give it a second thought.
How often have you heard a person say that someone's psycho or schizo, bipolar or OCD? I can pretty much guarantee that the people who use those terms had no idea what they actually meant.
This is Janelle.
This is Ariana.
This is Angela. And this is Franklin, and today we will be talking about different mental illnesses.
As we go into psychological disorders, we get a clearer understanding of their symptoms, types, causes, and the perspectives that explain them. One of the most common disorders have their root in a vexatious mental state that's familiar to us all. Anxiety, which is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an uncertain event or something with an uncertain outcome.
This is a part of being human, but however, we also tend to minimize this disorder by using them as binames for things that people do and think are still basically healthy, which we also do, but because of our lack of understanding of this condition, for some people, anxiety can develop into intense fear and paralyzing dread, and can ultimately turn into a full-fledged anxiety disorder, which interferes with the ability to function in a healthy manner. So when it comes to anxiety, that definition is the difference between maybe asking out the person who had the biggest crush on you for the longest versus the person who truly can't leave their house for fear of interacting with others. It's the difference between the girl who is teased by her friends as being OCD because she's super neat and organized, and that girl that washes her hands so often that they bleed. Starting today, you will understand all of these terms that you've been using.
We often associate anxiety with fear, but anxiety disorders aren't just a matter of fear itself. A key constituent is also what we do to get rid of that fear. Say someone almost drowned as a kid and is now afraid of water. A family having a picnic at the river may cause their anxiety to bubble up, and to cope, that person may stay sequestered inside the car, less anxious but probably still unhappy, while the rest of their family is having fun. So in terms, anxiety disorders are not only characterized by distressing persistent anxiety, but also by the dysfunctional behaviors that reduce anxiety. A fifth of all people will at some point in their lives experience some type of diagnosable anxiety disorder.
So let's start out with a very common condition that we all know well. This mental illness used to be categorized as an anxiety disorder, but is now contemplated complex enough to be in its own category. Which is obsessive compulsive disorder, or also known as OCD. Being neat and orderly and fastidious doesn't make you OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder is a debilitating condition which people that suffer from it take normal activities such as washing your hands or double checking that you turned off the stove and performing it compulsively. People that are diagnosed with OCD often use these compulsive, even ritualistic behaviors to relieve intense and unbearable anxiety. So if you're still not certain of what it means for disorders to be deviant, distressful, and dysfunctional, OCD might help you understand, because we all know that it's hard to keep a job, run a household, sit still, or do much of anything if you feel intensely compelled to run the kitchen 20 times an hour. And just having the thoughts and behaviors of OCD are often driven by a fear that is itself obsessive. For example, if you don't go to the kitchen immediately, your house will burn in flames, and someone in your house or family could die, which makes the condition more stressful and self-reinforcing. Okay, and we will be right back. Stay tuned.
Okay, we are back, and right now we are interviewing 18-year-old Simon Bromwich, who suffers with anxiety. His favorite passions and hobbies are playing and watching football, playing badminton, and going to the gym.
I'm Simon Bromwich. I am 18. I attend Beverley Joint Sixth Form. I also work at Morrison's as well as a paperboy. I live at home with my mum, dad, sister and dog Scamp in my hometown of Beverley. I have many passions and hobbies, which include playing and watching football, playing squash and badminton, as well as going to the gym. Sport is a huge part of my life. Hull City is the football team I support. Myself, my dad and granddad have been going for the past 12 years. My passion for sport is shown as I would love to follow in the footsteps of John Motson, Guy Mowbray and other top sporting commentators who work for the BBC. The BBC is ultimately the place I would like to go and work in the future.
When did you first find out you had anxiety?
However, in September 2013, I got the first symptoms of depression and anxiety, which I then ignored for a few months until December, just before Christmas. This meant that.
Why did you ignore these symptoms, and what happened after you ignored them?
It developed, and after ignoring them, not speaking to anybody about them, I was in a worse position than I probably could have been in. Since then, which was over 17 months ago, I've
How does anxiety affect you?
struggled with social interactions with friends. I've had fallings out with people who I would never have thought of falling out with.
How does anxiety make you feel?
Purely because I don't feel like I'm being myself. I don't feel like I'm me. And the past year and a half has changed me. It's made me a stronger person in some ways, but it's been really not good.
How do people treat you knowing you have anxiety?
People don't understand what depression and anxiety does to you. It's sort of seen as, oh, just get over it. Just sort of, it's like trying to ask somebody who's got a broken leg to run it off. It's not like that. It takes time, and as an impatient person, I get very frustrated with myself because I aren't who I want to be and who I was.
How has anxiety affected the people around you and the thing that you love to do?
It's been very difficult for me. I've said that I had issues with friendships. It also caused strains between me and my parents. It also completely ruined a relationship I was in, and I was almost put off sport. I no longer wanted to play. I no longer enjoyed. I was becoming a nobody. I wasn't me.
Thank you for your time, Simon. Bye.
Wow, chicka, blam, blam.
Today you learn what defines an anxiety disorder and as well as the symptoms of obsessive compulsive disorder.
Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. This is Angela, and that is Janelle, that is Franklin, and that's Ariana.
Welcome, thank you.